Mu Kyung thought that mastery in martial arts meant fully understanding your skills and using them freely without any issues. But even he, with his high spiritual level, had only mastered 2 top-tier arts in under 10 days. That was a miracle. He stared at his broken wooden sword in disbelief. I just wanted to train him to fix his bad habits and weak basics, he thought. Who knew he could do the impossible? Apart from a few small flaws in his stance and form, he's almost perfect. His strength, stamina, and speed beat others at his level by far. He watched Jin Tae-kyung, who was sweaty and focusing on his QI. And he's still getting better at an scary fast rate, Mu Kyung thought. It's hard to believe this whiny kid, who only trained to show off muscles to girls, changed so much in less than 3 years. On the other side, Jin Tae-kyung stared at his new skill in confusion. Scroll crafting? Mu Jin thought he's far from being the divine god of war, but it's almost as if he's. The system notice said, with scroll crafting, you can make your own martial scrolls based on the arts you've mastered. Since it was a new skill, he felt excited at first. He scratched his cheek nervously and muttered, but it's pretty useless. Well, better than nothing. Suddenly, Mu Kyung smacked Jin Tae-kyung's head. Why are you spacing out? Jin Tae-kyung winced in pain. Ah, damn. Why do you keep hitting my head? Mu Kyung tossed his broken wooden sword aside. Who said it's okay to look away during a match? Anyway, your training is done. The system pinged, quest pass or fail will depend on Mu Kyung's review. Mu Kyung grunted. You're still far from finished. It took you 10 days just to get here. What a waste of my, he cut off when he saw Jin Tae-kyung's face. Huh? What's with that look? Jin Tae-kyung smirked. What do you mean? Mu Kyung snapped, I'm talking about that dumb face of yours. Jin Tae-kyung hid his joy. He had just seen the system notice, level up. You completed your training. Your reward is in your inventory. He pointed at Mu Kyung and teased, you're 25, but you act like a shy kid. Mu Kyung got mad. What nonsense is that? Jin Tae-kyung laughed. Don't worry. Being a bashful boy at your age is totally fine. Just then, a man stepped into the training arena. Young masters? Mu Kyung had his fist raised to punch Jin Tae-kyung, but he stopped. The man bowed. The lesser family head has summoned you both. At the main building of the lesser family head, Mu Kyung and Jin Tae-kyung arrived. They asked, where do you want us to go? Wai Kyung wanted both of them to head to the Manhwa sword sect. They would be important guests at the upcoming summit. Mu Kyung quickly asked, but why do you need us? No, why do you need me to go there? Jin Tae-kyung heard that and glanced at Mu Kyung. Look at this guy trying to wiggle out of it, he thought. Wai Kyung replied, this is because the sect leader of the Manhwa sword sect specifically requested it. Hearing that, both Mu Kyung and Jin Tae-kyung looked confused. The sect leader, they asked. Mu Kyung added, I thought their old sect leader. The bloodhound Lee Chanbik and most of their top martial artists died at the 8th Heavenly Valley. Their second son, Lee Seo-gun, was poisoned to death. I also heard the first son got killed by some mountain bandits a while back. If all that's true, how does the Manhwa sword sect still have a sect leader? Shouldn't they have closed their gates? Wai Kyung replied, right now, they are still one of the famous families in Shanxi province. That's why we can't ignore their potential. As long as their sect leader is alive, they can always make a comeback. Jin Tae-kyung asked curiously, their brains. And who is that? Wai Kyung said, their current leader is Lee Seo-woo. Jin Tae-kyung questioned. Lee Seo-woo? Is that the bastard child of Lee Chanbik, or maybe a distant relative? Wai Kyung was speechless for a moment. It seems you don't remember, Jin Tae-kyung quickly replied, huh? Is it someone I should know? Wai Kyung said, the new sect leader of the Manhwa sword sect is a woman. She's the third child of Lee Chanbik and the only sister of the late Lee Seo-gun. Jin Tae-kyung stood there in confusion. Then he suddenly remembered. Lee Seo-gun had once claimed that Jin Tae-kyung ripped off his sister's clothes and tried to rape her. After recalling that, he lost his cool. How is this possible? Mu Kyung asked, you two know each other? Wai Kyung started to reply, so, the request from the newly appointed sect leader of the Manhwa sword sect. Before he could finish, Mu Kyung's face lit up with happiness. He tried to back out of going. But Wai Kyung added, if you go, there will be a practitioner willing to share some of their peak realm martial scrolls. Hearing this, Mu Kyung, a total fanatic for martial scrolls, stopped in his tracks. When should we leave? Wai Kyung replied, immediately. A system notification appeared, yesterday's enemy is today's friend. New quest, now that the truth is out, the Manhwa sword sect is no longer your foe but an important ally. You must get to know them. Before the next summit, make sure to bring them to the Jin family of Taiyuan. Jin Tae-kyung thought, this quest isn't too hard, and there's no penalty if I fail. I just need to deliver the invitation letter, and that's it. Even though I'm glad it's so simple for this forced quest, I can't help feeling a bit worried. It's way too easy. Anyway, what's more important is that I can log out during this quest. Jin Tae-kyung smiled happily after reading the notification. He thought, I should finish my contract with Leader Choi and test out my new martial arts. Mu Kyung, sitting in front of him, said, going by carriage should take us a few days to get there. Mu Kyung yelled at the horseman outside. Go faster. A voice from outside replied, first of all, I'm not a horseman. Second, I can't go any faster than this. You probably don't know because you're inside, but it's freezing cold out here. The roads are frozen over, so this is as fast as we can go. Mu Kyung snapped, what? Then if you're not a horseman, why are you sitting there? The voice replied, well, before we left, you told all the traveling attendants to get lost because they were in the way. And it just so happened the real horseman was one of them. Mu-kyung remembered and said, ah. Right. Then who the hell are you? He opened the window and realized it was Hyuk Mu-jin. Mu-kyung quickly closed it. Why didn't you leave with the others? You should have brought the horseman instead. Hyuk Mu-jin replied, I only obey the third young master's orders. Mu-kyung looked at Jin Tae-kyung. Is that so? You two sure get along well. He noticed Jin Tae-kyung and asked, what the hell are you doing? Jin Tae-kyung replied, I'm trying to do QI meditation. Mu-kyung said, what do you mean? It looks like you're trying to sleep. Jin Tae-kyung shouted angrily, I'm trying to circulate my QI. QI meditation. You know what happens if you disturb me, right? Chi deviation, do you understand now? Mu-kyung got mad, stood up, and moved to hit him. But Jin Tae-kyung said, I'm going to start now. Don't disturb me. Jin Tae-kyung closed his eyes, scared he would get beaten again. A few minutes later, he opened them. Mu-kyung was sitting back in his spot, peacefully. Jin Tae-kyung wondered, I don't know if I can trust him with my precious body. Anyhow, it's fine. I'll let it slide this time. Then he thought, anyhow, the time has come. A system notification appeared. Do you want to log out? Yes or no? Jin Tae-kyung said yes to the system.